but I'm not muted. All right, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and roll through these tricks. I have about 12 tricks that I want to teach you guys tonight. Some of them are just single tricks. Some of them are combos. Like I said, I'm using a medium-sized hoop for this workshop. So with that, let's do the first trick. Oh, actually, I do want to go over something real quickly. So as you guys know, this is a dance-inspired turns workshop. So we're going to be doing a lot of turning. So before we get into any tricks, I wanted to give you guys a couple of ways that you can turn with your feet, because if we're not used to turning, it might be a little bit hard for our brains to connect with our feet. So let's go ahead and stand up real quick. And I'm going to give you a couple ways that you can turn. Oh, Cassandra's here. Okay. So the first little turn that we can do for these combos is the easiest turn of all, and that would be getting up onto our tiptoes and turning to the left or right, whichever way feels good to you. Just tiptoe your way around in a circle. Okay? Very easy. I prefer getting up onto my toes because it elongates my legs and it helps give me stabilization while I turn. Okay? The second turn that you can do would be one that looks like this. So what I like to do is cross my right leg over my left. And then from here, I'm going to get up onto the balls of my feet. And I am going to turn over my left shoulder by shifting my weight to the front. And then I'm going to continue that turn as I shift my way back to the back. Okay? So all together, your feet should start by being crossed and then end by being crossed. It's a simple little footwork combination, okay? The third turn that you can use today would be turning on one foot, which is what you will see me doing the most. So what I like to do for this turn, I like to turn on my right leg, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my weight onto my left foot. I'm going to wind my body up to the left, and then I'm going to fling my body to the right as I get up onto the ball of my foot on my right foot. Okay, I find that it's easy to maybe have some socks on a tile or a hardwood floor for this trick. Turning on carpet with one foot might be a little bit more challenging. But make sure that you are getting up onto the ball of your foot as you turn, because that will help with stabilization and balance as opposed to just turning on one foot flat-footed. But of course, if that feels more comfortable for you, don't hesitate to do that. All right, so we are going to go ahead and practice your turn of choice 2 times together just to get comfortable. Okay, so out of those 3, pick one and we're gonna do it. Here we go. I'm gonna do it from the back. 3, 2, 1, turn. And now I'm going to do it for the front. 3, 2, 1, turn. All right. How are we feeling comfortable with those turns? Thumbs up? Perfect. All right, now let's get right into the hoop tricks. So the first hoop trick that I want to teach you guys is called a double smear. This is what it looks like. Okay, so I call it a double smear because I am combining a one-handed smear and a two-handed smear. So what we are going to do is we are first going to go over the one-handed smear. I want you to grab your hoop in your dominant hand. I'm right side dominant, so I'm going to be using my right hand and my right side as my dominant side throughout the workshop. So what we're going to do, grab the hoop, thumb pointed up, and from here we are going to level the hoop out so it's parallel with the floor and the ceiling. Swoop the hoop across to the other side. Flip the hoop down so that our thumb is facing down and go behind our back as we smear it to the front. Okay? Is everybody comfortable with the smear? I'm not sure where everybody's levels are at with the hoop, so I'm just going to go ahead and check the chat. Yeah, let me see you guys go ahead and do a smear. All right. Yeah, it looks like we're very familiar with that, so I won't over-explain it. Jenny, where's your hoop? She's typing. Jenny's missing a hoop. Cassandra says these turns are called pirouettes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's an imaginary hoop. Okay, we can go with that. All right, so after we do our one-handed smear, when the hoop swings back to the front, we're gonna do a little grip change, okay? So I'm gonna take my free hand, which is my left hand, grab the bottom of the hoop, and then I'm gonna do a grip change with my top hand, which is my right hand, and grab the top, okay? So it's smear, grab, grab. And from here, we are going to continue the smear in the same direction, okay? So we smear to the left, grab, grab, continue to smear to the left, okay? And after we get comfortable with doing this motion a couple times, we are ready to add in our turn. So I want you to go ahead and pick the turn that we already decided before we began learning this trick. And I want you to smear, and as it comes around to the front, turn over the left shoulder and do your turn. Okay? Smear and turn. Smear and turn. Okay, and as I finish my smear and I turn back to the front, I'm going to push the hoop up and over my head and land it in a backpack position. Okay, so let's go ahead and see you guys practice that trick 2 times, okay? I'm gonna count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. I love the hoop miming, Jenny. It's cracking me up. All right, let's do it again. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. All right, amazing. Does anybody have any questions about this trick so far? Are we ready to move on to the next one? All right, I don't see any questions, so we're gonna go ahead.
Would you do it just one more time now that I've done it? Thanks.
Yeah, okay. So from the back, smear, double smear. And then from the front, smear, double smear.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Moving right along, we have this combo that I like to call an Isotorial Jump through. So it is going to combine an isolation and a jump through, and this is what it looks like. Ta-da! All right, so for starters, we are going to go over the isolation part. So I start this trick off by taking my hand, palm facing up, grabbing the top of my, the bottom, the underneath side of the top of my hoop so that my fingers are pointed towards my face. From here, I'm going to go into an isolation to the left, otherwise known as a pinky lead isolation, right? But instead of doing a full isolation all the way around, I'm going to do a turning isolation. So essentially, how you get that turning motion would be to isolate all the way down to about 9 o'clock. Okay, you want to isolate down to the part where your hand can't move up any further. From here, we are going to loosen our grip, and we are going to push our arm down, bend your elbow forward as you push your arm down, and the hoop should go into your armpit. Okay, so again, isolate, bend the elbow, trace the outside of the hoop, and come down, and the hoop should be in your armpit. From here, we are going to raise our hand from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock to 12 as we turn over the right shoulder. So all together, isolate, push down, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Okay? Does everybody get that part so far? It could be a little bit confusing with that isolation. Any questions on that? Thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, so after you do this little isolation, you should be back towards the front. And you should have your grip down at 6 o'clock and the hoop is kind of on the inside of your arm. From here, we are going to go into a jump through. So I always like to prep my jump throughs with this cool little folding transition. So I'm going to teach you how to do that next. So we ended right here. Next, we are going to shoot our arm out to the right so that this big, beautiful gap is behind our bodies. Okay? From here, I'm going to fold my arm to my chest and then take the top part of this hula hoop and push it up towards my face and then extend my arm so it's completely straight and the hoop is out in front of me. So again, we were here, push it out, push it in, unwind the hula hoop, and now we are ready to go into our jump through. Okay, so if you guys aren't too familiar with jump throughs yet, I'm going to briefly explain that for you. When I first started learning jump throughs, I kept on getting tripped on my hoop because I wanted to jump with both feet. And you could totally get away with doing that if you have a larger hoop, but I'm using a medium-sized hoop. So what I need to do in order to not get tangled up on the hoop is to stagger my feet. So by that I mean I have a foot out in front and a foot behind me. As the hoop comes behind me, I'm going to jump back with my back foot and kick up with my front foot. Back, kick, back, kick. This will help you not get tangled up on the hoop when you do your jump through. Okay? So let's try it from this part, okay? 3, 2, 1. We're gonna fold out to the chest, around, and jump through. All right. How are you doing so far? Am I losing anybody? Is it making sense? Thumbs up. All right. We're going to move on to the last part of the trick. Here we go. So we just jumped through the hoop. This part's super simple and adds a little bit of flair. We are now going to recenter the hoop back around our body below our waist, and then we're going to turn as we float the hula hoop up to the top and get into lasso. All right, let's go ahead and do the whole thing 2 times together. I'm gonna do it from the back and then from the front like I did with the last trick. And if anybody has any questions at the end of our demonstration, I will answer them for you, okay? Here we go. Make sure your hand is gripping 12 o'clock on the hoop. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Isolate down, turn, jump through, and push it up. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do it again. I'm gonna show you from the front. 3, 2, 1, isolate down, turn, holding, jump through, recenter as we push it up. All right. Thank you, Cassandra, for calling all of the little movements out for me in the comments. Does anybody have any questions? How comfortable are we feeling with this trick on a scale of 1 through 5? Let me see the number on your hands. We got a 4, we got a 4, got a 4. Okay, yeah, so for just learning it today, you guys are pretty much already perfecting it. Wonderful. Okay, moving right along. This one is a 3-point fold turn combo. So this trick is really nice because the hoop really isn't doing too much. It's more so of your body. So really feel free to kind of play up the movements in your body for this trick because your hoop is going to be staying still for most of the time. This is what the combo looks like. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to start off with the hoop in front of us and gripping the outside of the hoop. Make sure that your thumbs are pointed down, just like mine. From here, we are going to start off with a little swing, just to give the hoop a little bit momentum for when we go into our 3-point fold. So I like to start off with the hoop slightly towards my left. From here, I'm going to push it up, 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 up to my right. You should have your left hand on the bottom and your right hand on top. From here, I'm going to take my left hand and push it, bam, right above my head. Notice that your right hand really isn't doing anything. It's staying stationary the whole time. Okay? Now we're going to take our right hand and bam, push it down to the left. And this time our left hand really didn't do much. It stayed in its place the whole time. So they're just mirroring each other. Okay? So all together, we swoop up, hit, hit, hit. And then from here, we are going to go bam, back up to the top. Now that we're at the top, you're going to go ahead and choose any of the turns that I described earlier in the workshop and turn. And that is the combo. Now what I like to do to really play up this trick is sometimes I'll repeat a fold for a second. Okay, so instead of just going hit, 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 and then do my turn, sometimes I'll just sit here for a while, maybe do a back and forth a couple of times, and then I'll go into my turn. So I find that is really useful for if the music has like a certain beat that I'm trying to accentuate with my movements. That's something that I like to do. So let's go ahead and practice it 2 times together. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going hit, 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 up, turn, and land. From the front, we are going hit, 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 up, turn, and land. Right on. Does anybody have any questions about that one so far? That one's super easy and fun. I'm gonna watch. I don't have the space to move like this, but watching is still informative. Yeah, definitely. I feel you on the space aspect. I just moved out of an apartment a couple months ago, so I feel you on the no space. But luckily, spring will be coming up pretty soon, so we'll be able to get our bodies out and moving super soon. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a variation of the little 3-point turn combo that I just did. So after we did our hit, 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 and turn, what I discovered recently is from here, you can go into this super fun leapfrog trick, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end with our hoop right above our head. And from here, we're gonna ghost the hoop down, 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 down. And we are gonna open up our legs wide and push the hula hoop through our legs and over our body. So if you ladies are using a larger hula hoop, we wanna make sure we got a nice wide stance so we can clear that hula hoop, right? So we're gonna push down above the head, okay? Regrip the side of the hula hoop. And then we're going to turn, 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 turn as we flip the hula hoop back up to the top. Okay? So let's go ahead and try that variation that I just taught one time together. 3, 2, 1. We're going hit, 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 back to the center. Push it down, leapfrog, and we're gonna float it up to the top. All right. Awesome, awesome. Can I go ahead and see you guys do that last variation one time just to see how we're all doing? All right, I'm gonna count you down. 3, 2, 1, go. Wonderful, looks good, Ray. Looks good, Ariana. All right, you guys are killing it. Sweet. Does anybody have any questions before I move on? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go back to speaker view here. Okay. So this next trick is going to be incorporating another isolation in a turn. So this is what it looks like. All right, so this one is a little bit more of an intermediate trick because we do have a contact escalator going on. If you're not too familiar with that, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you. So this trick is going to start off with an isopop, but instead of doing the isopop in front of our body, we are going to be doing it behind our body, okay? So again, I'm using my right hand, gripping the top of the hoop, and I want to be gripping the side of the hoop, but make sure you're gripping the inside. So you don't want it like this, you want it like this. Oh, did we get a question? No, we didn't. Okay, so from here, I'm going to shoot my arm out as I extend my wrist. I flex it down so that my thumb is facing down. And then from here, I'm going to let the hoop roll over the top of my hand as I let it go and bring my elbow back into the side of my rib cage, like this. So isopop, catch, isopop, catch. Now, as the hoop is coming back from the little back swing there, I'm going to take my left arm and swoop it down and out to a T so I can catch the hula hoop in a backpack position. Like this, okay? So make sure that you're really driving the left arm down and back, just to make sure that you can catch the hula hoop in a backpack position, okay? From here, you're gonna go ahead and pick your turn, and you are going to do one full turn back to the front, okay? Now we are gonna go into a little hinging motion with the back of our knee. So this is what it looks like. We're gonna bring the hoop down, bend our right knee so that we're catching the hoop in our little knee crease right here, and then bring our arms up as the hoop falls. Now we are going to, I'll show you from the front, dive into our hula hoop, and then put our right knee down. So this is kind of a very awkward position right here. Yeah, but we're gonna transition into something else, so don't worry, you won't be here too long. Okay, so now that we're here, we're also going to bring in our left leg into the hoop. So you're going to step in with your left leg as you bring the hoop up to about chest height. Okay, so that was a lot. So let's go over everything we just learned so far. Starting from the isopop. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna isopop, backpack. Drop the hoop down, catch with the knee. Bring it up, catch with our arms. Now we're going to step into the hoop and bring the hoop up to our chest. Okay, we all get on that so far? Looks like we are, sweet. From here, we are going to go into our contact escalator. So when we do our contact escalator, we're going to push the hoop up with our arms. So the motion that I'm doing with my arms is kind of like a backward arm circle motion, okay? So if you haven't done this motion before, it can get a little bit tricky to get used to, but I'm pushing my chest forward as I'm pushing my arms back and over my head. And as I do that, I'm gonna take my right hand and grab the hula hoop like this, okay? So again, here's how it looks like from the front. Push, whoop, push, and probably might need a little less momentum there. Push and grab. And as you can see, the hoop already wants to swing into a contact escalator. So try that a couple times. Try to push it into a contact escalator. Push, grab, throw it back. Okay. I'm gonna watch you guys do it a couple times so I can see where we're at with that. Let's see. Yeah, looks good, Ray. Yep, now throw it back, Ariana. Perfect. All right, you guys are pros. Wonderful. Okay, so after we do our push and grab, we're actually going to be turning over our left shoulder as we go into our contact escalator. So that is a little bit more advanced. If that feels like too much footwork for you, you could totally omit that. But if you're ready to step up the level of intensity, I'm going to kind of describe it for you super slowly. So I'm going to pan this down so we can see what my feet are doing. All right, so after we pushed it up, grab, I'm going to take a step, little baby step, back with my left foot as I swing the hula hoop down to my right foot and then bring my foot out to end my escalator. So essentially, it's just a regular escalator, but the only thing that's different is I'm doing a little baby step back and doing a half turn to the front, okay? Or actually, it would be a full turn. So, like this, okay? And then from the front, okay? Again, that is definitely a little bit more challenging, so, you know, definitely something you can work up to if you're not understanding right away. Good job, Ray. All right, wonderful. Does anybody have any questions? If not, we're gonna go over the whole thing 2 times together. Going once, going twice. All right, let's go ahead and do it then. All right, so starting from the iso pop. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna iso pop, backpack. Turn to the front. Drop the hoop down. Grab with the knee, bring our hands in, step the left foot in, bring the hoop up to our chest, push, contact escalator, okay? And then from the front, we are going to do our iso pop backpack. Bring the hoop down, grab with the knee. Oh, I forgot to turn, didn't I? Let's go ahead and do it from the second time all together. I'm gonna count you down. 3, 2, 1, here we go. We're gonna iso pop, backpack. Turn in our circle, drop the hoop down, catch with our knee. Bring the hands in, step the left foot in, hoop up to the chest, contact escalator as we turn back to the front. Okie dokie. I am gonna go ahead and move on to the next combo. So this one deals more with handwork. So our feet are going to be turning in a circle, but we're mostly going to be keeping the hoop on our hand the entire time. It is a 360-degree anti-spin, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so you guys know about the traditional anti-spin. I don't know about you, but I typically like to do my anti-spins counterclockwise, okay? But for this trick, we are going to do our anti-spin. I guess this would be clockwise. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm turning. But we're going to be doing it this way instead of this way, if that makes sense. So I'm first going to show you how you can transition into this trick. Start with the hoop out to your side, thumb pointed up. From here, we're going to hinge the hoop to our back, isolate the top, and then bring our hand from the left side to the right side. Okay, so this is a very standard tradition or standard transition that I use a lot in my flow, but it's perfect for getting into this trick. So again, hoop out to the side, swing it back, isolate the top, flip it forward. And from the front. Okay, so we should be with our hand gripping 6 o'clock, fingers grip or facing towards the ground. And now we're going to go into the anti-spin. So we're going to pop the hoop down and then grab out to the right, thumb pointed up. Now we're going to bring the hoop up above our head, but we're also going to be incorporating a turn over the right shoulder. So this is where a grip switch needs to happen. I don't know if anybody is familiar with spinning doubles, but with double hoop flow, we do things called thumb spins, which is exactly how it sounds. We spin the hoop on our thumb. Okay, so we're going to be incorporating a thumb spin at this point and this point of the 360-degree anti-spin. So we should end with our thumb pointed up right here. From here, I'm going to give you guys a close-up of my grip. I'm going to slide that thumb in, and I'm going to grab the hoop like this. So my fingers are on the outside of the hoop, and I'm pinching the hoop with my thumb and my palm. Okay? From here, I'm going to have the hoop spin down towards my face and then up above my head so that I'm gripping the hoop on the outside. So I'll show you up close. We did our awkward little grip right here, and we're going to spin it up and catch. Okay? Does that thumb spin transition make sense? Perfect. Okay, so now that we thumb spinned up, okay, we are going to do another thumb spin to the side, or sorry. After we thumb spin up, we're going to do a regular transition down and to the right. So I'll show you from the back because we're not mirrored here. Here, here, here. Okay, so we're here, and then we go here, thumb up. Now we're gonna do that awkward grip again. So we're gonna slide the thumb in, fingers shooting out to the side, and we are going to push the hoop down and into the front of us. Okay, so all together, it should look like this. Spin the hoop down, catch up to the right, do our thumb spin up to our left, and then we're gonna spin to our right. Then we're gonna thumb spin down, and then back up to our right again. Is that making sense to you guys? Kinda? Okay, we're gonna go over it again. We'll go super slowly. So this is, I'll just teach this one from the front because I feel like you guys need to see what I'm doing with my hands. Okay, so we're going to spin down, catch, okay? Then we're gonna stick our thumb in and catch up to the top. Then we're gonna spin down to the right. And now we're going to stick our thumb in as we hit down and then out to the right. So I did an extra little spin here because I wanted to kind of pause the motion to show you guys what it's like, what your grip is supposed to look like. But essentially what we're doing is we are having our little chicken grip right here, and we are folding the hoop down and then out to the right. So the hoop comes down, we stick our fingers in, and then we push it out to the right. So down, okay, stick the hand in, catch, and then out to the right. And then we can continue the turn. Okay. Is anybody struggling on like a specific part that I can maybe clarify for you? You can unmute yourself if you want. Stuck on the grip. Yeah, do you want to unmute yourself and maybe just kind of show me what you got so far? So I can kind of target you personally.
Sure. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with this grip so far. So from here out to the right, is it like, I guess I want to see the chicken grip again.
Okay, so here we're going to kind of swing the hoop up towards our face and then catch. Okay. So the hoop is going to swing down, right? Down and up to the face.
Is it swinging? Oh, it's swinging on your thumb down?
Yeah. So it's, I can't really get super close to the camera because my table's in the way, but it's kind of coming down, and then I stick my hand in. Okay.
Is it like an overhand grasp to start and then it's down?
Yep. So you should be starting that transition right here. Then you stick the thumb in, and then it swings down, and then you're going to be catching it above your head so that your fingers are facing out away from your body.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, it's like a little swoopy. The hoop's not doing any extra turns. It's just like one little swoop and catch. So you're catching. You're here, stick the thumb in, and then catch. Okay? Does that make more sense? Let's see you do it. Yeah, that's it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then the second little grip switch, you're gonna bring the hoop from the top down to the right, okay? And the second little grip switch is going to be from when you bring the hoop from the right back down to the bottom. So it's the same little motion, okay? Oh, this is so hard because I'm turned around to the back. I guess it would be from here. Yeah. So you would swing the hoop down and then to the right. So before you swung it up and then here, this time you're going to do that little awkward grip, let it swing down. And then when the hoop is like this, you're going to roll your hand in and then shoot it to the right. Okay, so it's going to swing up towards the face. You're going to stick your fingers in so it rolls across the top of your hand and then push out to the right. So we're going here and here. Does that make sense? Yeah, you got it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, much easier with poi. Oh, yeah, I bet. No awkward grip switches. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and try it just together, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and stand back there. I'm gonna count you down and we're gonna rock it out. Let's do it. All right, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go ahead and do our transition. And then we're gonna pop it down and to the side, up and to the side, down, up and down and up. Whoop. Okay? And you might find that it's kind of hard to keep your planes straight as you turn. So what I find is helpful, is to kind of pay attention to my feet and keep one foot on the ground, keep one foot not moving, and then use the other foot to pivot. Okay, so if you guys can see, I feel like that helps me keep my planes a little straighter. Okay, so I'm not just kind of using both feet and getting caught up, if that makes sense. Okay, does anybody have any questions before we move on? I am here to answer all of your questions. Do not hesitate to ask. Okay. The next one is super, super easy. It is a foldy turn. This is what it looks like. Okay, and we're going to be breaking down a few variations on how to jazz up the fold. So to start off with, grip the hoop on the outside. I'm going to briefly explain how to do folds. Okay, so we're going to start by gripping the outside, like I said, and then swoop the hoop up and back. Okay, now traditionally, you might think that this is as far as the hoop can fold backward, right? But you're wrong. It can actually do, bam, like another little fold down here. So when you do your upward fold, make sure you're swinging it so the hoop is all the way back down below our waist. Okay? So we're swinging up and down, and I'm really just kind of rotating my shoulder cap right here to get that full range of motion with the hoop. And then I'm going to rewind it, and this time push the hoop back and up, and then down, and then back and up and around. So essentially, if I give you the side view, my arm is just making circles, okay? You guys know arm circles? That's essentially what we're doing, okay? And I might also add that you're keeping a super loose grip on the hoop so that it easily slides in and out your fingers, okay? So if you have a super tight grip, what am I saying? You'll find that you can't really fold the hoop that well, right? So we want to be loosey-goosey, and we're just going to draw arm circles, okay? Yeah, it looks like we're all getting that so far. So now the next step is super easy. All you got to do is pick the turn that we discussed earlier, the one that you chose was best for you, and you're just going to go ahead and turn as you do those arm circles. Okay. I'm gonna watch you guys do it. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and this is definitely an easier trick to do if you have a smaller hoop. If you have a bigger hoop, it might be a little too heavy on your arms. So that's just a helpful tip. So now we're gonna go into the variations. So you can do folds right here at chest level, or you can change the level of the hoop and bring them up over your head, or kind of down below. You can kind of start from the bottom and bring it up to the top as you turn, and then bring them back down. Okay, it's up to you and what feels good for you. Now, you can also stall the fold as you turn. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing to accomplish that is I'm doing one fold in as I turn, and then I'm stopping my arm from moving. And then whenever I feel like it, I'm going to continue my fold again. And then I'm going to stop my arm. So without turning, it looks like this. Fold, turn, fold, turn. Okay? So let's go ahead and play around with those folds for a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and call out what I'm doing, and you guys just go ahead and do whatever feels good for you. All right, I'm going to start off with just the standard fold and turn. Now I'm going to bring it down as I bring it up. Now I'm going to stall my hoop, fold it again, and stall my hoop as I do a level change and bring on the folds. All right. Yeah, so that's definitely something that is fun to play around with and sync up to the music. Does anybody have any questions on that one? All right, we are going to move on then. Now, the next type of turn is pretty similar. I'm calling it the swoopy turn. This is what it looks like. Okay, so this is a fun little transition to do if you need to give your brain a second to just kind of reset and think about what type of hoop trick you want to do next. So what we're going to do, start with the hoop out to the side. From here, we are going to flatten the hoop, and then we are going to swoop it to our left side as we rotate our thumb down. So that motion is kind of happening all together. So it's a swoop and flip. Swoop and flip. Now we're going to continue with that momentum of the hoop and draw it back to our back, and then land it to where the hoop is above, our hand is above the hoop and the hoop is behind our back. So all together, it looks like this. I heard somebody call it an iso whip before, so maybe that's like a better term for it, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're whipping and then isolating to the top. Whipping and isolating to the top. Now, as you do that motion, you're going to be turning over the left shoulder, okay? So whip and turn, whip and turn, whip and turn, whip and turn. Okay? And you want to get into just a nice rhythm with your hoop. So I'll scoot back so you can see my feet. Looks like this. Whip and turn, whip and turn, whip and turn, whip and turn. All right. How does that feel? Yeah, you guys look like you're doing it. Yeah, and then I saw Ray transitioned into an isolation after that. So that could be like a fun little transition that you guys can incorporate. But yeah, this is just a fun little dance-inspired transition. Perfect. All right, moving right along. The next little combo we have is an arm swivel combo. This is what it looks like. So this one is going to incorporate a wedgie. I do have a little modification for that if you're not comfortable with wedgies yet, which I will be sharing when we get to that part. So this is going to start off with a little arm swivel. Okay, so what we're going to do is start by gripping the hula hoop out to the side, and we are going to do our little backward hinge motion. And as we do that, we are going to take our non-dominant hand, which is going to be our receiving hand, and we are going to extend it out in front of us at about belly button length. From here, we are going to take our top hand and we're going to flip our thumb down as we flip our wrist and rotate the hula hoop into our hand. So the hula hoop is kind of going to do a little coin flip into the receiving hand, right? And as we are about to receive the hula hoop, I want you to gently raise your arm from below your waist to above your head. So it should look something like this. Okay, go ahead and take it nice and slow, because this trick is definitely not easy the first time you do it. If you want to get a solid coin flip, make sure you concentrate on flicking the top hand down to its full range of motion. Okay, so the thumb flicks down and then up. Okay? Now, when we catch the hula hoop up at the top, we are going to catch it with kind of our thumb pointed up. Okay? And from here, we are going to hinge it out to the left, behind our back, and then go into a smear and into backpack. Okay? So again, we are going to arm swivel it back, catch, hinge the hoop out as we smear it into backpack. All right. Does everybody get that so far? Yeah, looks like you guys got it. Awesome. Now, if you're not comfortable with wedgies, you can end the trick here, okay? And then just maybe fold the hoop out and go into whatever other trick you want. But if you are comfortable with wedgies, this is the next part. We're gonna do that same little backpack leg hinge trick that we learned earlier today. We're gonna bring the hoop down, grab with our leg. Now from here, we're going to push the hula hoop up and over and then throw our bodies inside. But this time, we're going to let it drop completely and then we'll be able to get into our wedgie. Okay? So all together, it'll look like this. We're gonna hinge it back. Arm swivel, catch. Hinge it around, up into backpack. Then we're gonna go down into wedgie. And that is where it ends the trick. Okay, so one last time, and then I'm going to show you a little variation that you can do. We are going to hinge the hoop back, extend the arm swivel it up and catch. Hinge the hoop back into our smear, up into backpack. Bring the hoop down, catch with the knee. Swoop the body in, into wedgie. Okay. Now we're going to go into the little variation that I like to do, which reverses the turn. This is what it looks like. Okay, so you can see this time I'm going to be incorporating a wedgie lock. So we are going to do the same thing that we did. So let's get into that position from the little backward iso hinge. Okay, we're going to swing it back. Extend the arm up and catch. Hinge it down as we smear. Bam, landing in backpack. This is where the variation starts, okay? We're still going to lower the hoop down and catch with our knee, okay? But this time, instead of bringing our whole body in, what we're gonna do is take our left arm, okay, and shoot it through the hoop and catch it on our shoulders. So I want you to make sure that the left arm and the right leg are inside of the hoop, and then the right arm and the left leg are outside of the hoop, okay? That's the key to locking the hoop in place. If you bring the left arm and the right arm inside of the hoop is going to fall and go immediately into wedgie. So in order to lock it, make sure you have the right arm back behind the hoop and the hoop is resting on your shoulder. Okay? From here, we are going to go into our turn in our wedgie lock. What I like to do is I like to bring my left hand up and circle over my head as I turn. Okay? Almost like a little princess wave motion, right? What you could also do is bring the arms from the bottom up to the top and then bring them back down. Okay? It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. This is your flow. You decide what you want to do with your arms. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that whole little variation all together. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to ice or swivel, catch, bring it back as we smear into backpack. Drop the hoop down, catch with the knee. Bam, pop it into our wedgie lock. And then we're going to turn the opposite way in our wedgie lock and land. I might also mention that whenever you're ready to get out of that turn, all you got to do is take that right arm, pop it out of the hoop, then you're right into your wedgie, and you can continue with your flow. Okay? So we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to demonstrate from the beginning, and then I'll take questions. Here we go. We're going to isolate to the back, arm swivel up, go into our smear, backpack. Then we're going to drop the hoop down into the knee, hinge onto our shoulders, turn in our wedgie lock, back to the front, peel that right arm in, and then go into our wedgie. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? You can go ahead and unmute yourself, ask away. I'd love to answer your questions. You guys are rock stars. You have no questions for me. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. Okay. The next little combo that I'm going to be teaching you today incorporates a little wall plane turn from a chest roll. So this is what it looks like. Woo. Gonna try that again. That was a little sloppy. All right, so going over chest rolls briefly, I like to start them by taking the hoop in the J part of my hand, okay, and I like to use my wrist for chest rolls. Some people like to start their chest rolls with palm up. That's totally optional, but I find that it's more efficient to do them from palm down just because I find myself in this position more likely than I would in this position, okay? Now from here, to get a nice, slow, and controlled chest roll, what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing the hoop up and we're gonna make sure that we use the full range of motion in our wrist, okay? So we want the full range of motion, not like the half range of motion, right? We want our wrist to be flinging up and down. And from here, I'm going to bend way, way back, aim for my chest, okay? And I want you to keep your eyes on the hoop the entire time, okay? I've seen some people gaze up at the sky as they're doing chest rolls or look at their right hand the entire time at the hoop they're doing the chest roll and not at the hoop. But I think the key to get a nice smooth chest roll is to engage your eyes with the hoop the entire time, okay? So here I go. I'm going to lean back, flick my wrist up in the full range of motion, and then I'm going to let go and watch the hoop the entire time. Okay, so let's go ahead and warm up our chest rolls 3 times together the best you can, all right? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna chest roll, catch. Again, 3, 2, 1. Chest roll, catch. Final time. 3, 2, 1. Chest roll, catch. Make sure you're following through with your gaze. Okay, now that that's all warmed up, we are going to incorporate a little chest roll pop at the end, which looks like this. Okay, so the key to getting that nice little popping motion, would be to flick the wrist up. So traditionally, when I started learning the chest roll pop, I would kind of just use my whole arm to get the hoop up into the air, but you get a more cleaner and nice looking pop if you just use the wrist and try to go at it almost as if you're trying to give the hoop a backspin. Okay, so that's how it should kind of look like. It's almost like I'm trying to give the hoop a backspin. So let's go ahead and try that together. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna chest roll, pop. Okay? And it's a very light tap upward with the wrist. Okay, we don't need anything super powerful. We can just be easy with this one. Again, 3, 2, 1, chest roll, pop. All right. Are we feeling okay with the chest roll pop? Does anybody need another explanation on that? Okay. All right, so after we do the chest roll pop, we're going to catch the hoop thumb down with the hand that started the chest roll, okay? So if you're struggling with the chest roll pop, what you could do is maybe catch the hoop and then toss it up and catch with thumb pointed down, because you're definitely gonna need the hoop to get up in the air for the next part of the trick. So if you're struggling with that, just catch the hoop, toss it up, catch with thumb pointed down. If you're not, go ahead and do the pop, it's up to you. Okay, so now that we're here and we've caught the hoop with our hand that started the roll, thumb pointed down, we are going to go into a little static plane wall turn. Whoop, actually, I think I caught it with the wrong hand. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're not gonna catch with thumb pointed down. I apologize, that was the wrong instruction. We're gonna catch with thumb pointed up, okay? So just erase everything I said to you within the last 2 minutes out of your brain. Okay, so we're going to chest roll, pop, catch, thumb pointed up. This should feel a little bit more natural. Okay, from here we're going to turn over the left shoulder as we bring the hoop down to our feet, and then continue to turn over the left shoulder as we bring the hoop up and over our head. Okay, so the hoop should be staying in wall plane the entire time we're turning. Okay, try to keep it nice and straight, almost as if you want the hoop to perfectly hang up on a wall like it's a picture frame, okay? Now, I want us to be mindful of the left hand while we're doing the turn, okay? And by that I mean, I want you to bring that left hand out to the side as well, okay? And just try to keep your arms nice and open. And I feel like by adding the left hand out to the side as well, it adds balance to the trick, okay? If that doesn't feel comfortable, ditch it. You can totally do this trick with the right hand, but this is another option. Okay, so now that we are sufficiently dizzy, I'm going to explain the next part of the trick. After we've done, bam, our one whole turn, we should be back up to the front. We're gonna bring the hoop down, step in with our right foot, and then follow with our left. Okay, so it's a little stepping in transition. And then we're going to isolate this bottom portion of the hoop. Okay, so we're gonna bend down at the knees as we isolate all the way up to the side of our hoop, to the left side. And then we're gonna do a little barrel roll back to the front. Okay, so again, we'll go over that super slowly. We're gonna do our chest roll, pop, catch with our thumb pointed up. Then we're gonna go into our wall plane turn, one full turn, then we're gonna step in with the right, then the left, isolate down, and then barrel roll back to the front. Okay, I wanna say that when you do your little hop in motion, after you do your little bam, make sure you're stepping in with the foot that's closest to the hoop, okay? So that's my right foot. If I try to step in with my left foot, I might be able to do that, but I really don't want to risk me tripping over my other foot and my hoop. So for the purposes of it just being easier on you, try to step in with right and then left. Okay? How are we doing so far? I feel like you guys are super quiet and I don't know how we're doing. Is anyone have any questions?
I have a question. Yeah. So, can you go over the part again where you're stepping in and then you isolate the bottom?
Yeah. Okay. So I just stepped in, right? So both feet should be inside of the hoop. There we go. So both feet are inside of the hoop. And then this little back part of the hoop is behind my butt, right? Now I'm going to take that hand, my thumb should be pointed down, and I'm going to drive that hand down all the way to my ankles, and then all the way up to my shoulder, okay? So it's like I'm like squatting and then coming up. So that'll help get me out of the circle, kind of, okay? So see, now I'm out of it. First I started in the circle, then I isolate down, all the way back up. Now I'm out of the circle, okay? So I should end with my thumb pointed up and my grip is on 9 o'clock on my hoop. Okay, so from the back, I bend and then come up. Does that make sense?
So it makes sense when you do it like that, and then I'm realizing that I'm doing something different wrong than what I previously thought. Because I'm not, like when I'm stepping into the hoop, it's like on the opposite side of me or something.
So you're probably this way or something? Like you.
Yeah. It's like that, and so it doesn't.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you might. I've kind of been teaching it from both ways. So let's see. When you do your chest roll pop, so when you catch it, the same side you catch it on is the same side that you're going to be stepping into on. So make sure you're doing your one full turn back to 9 o'clock. Okay. So we caught at 9 o'clock, then we're going to swoop all the way back down to 9 o'clock. And then we're going to step in right, left. And isolate up. I suspect that you might be doing here and then maybe here. So you might be doing like an extra half turn maybe.
Maybe.
I see you do it.
Okay, so without the chest pop. So it's here and my thumb is up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then here.
Yep, up and over. Yep. Oh, I see what you're doing now. Ha, okay. So what you're doing is you are stepping in front of the hoop, okay? But you are stepping behind the hoop. So the hoop is back by your butt. Okay, so you were doing kind of one of these.
Yeah.
But you want to do bam, bam.
Baller, thank you. That's great.
Wonderful.
Knew there was something.
Okay, and Livy was doing it wrong too. She was stepping in wrong too. Well, I'm glad that you asked that question then. Perfect. Yeah, does anybody have any other questions? Don't be afraid to ask me. I would love to clarify it for you. Okay, if nobody has any questions, we're gonna go ahead and go over it together, full speed, and then we're gonna move on, okay? All right, and again, if you can't do the chest roll pop, just catch and do a little toss up, okay? We can definitely work up to that as we perfect that skill. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna chest roll, catch, throw it up. Then we're gonna go into our turn, step in front of the hoop, right, left, isolate up to the top. Okay, again, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna chest roll, catch, grab, go into our turn, step in front of the hoop, isolate down up to the top, and barrel roll. Okay. Right on. Yeah, that looks really good, Ariana. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to go on into another little anti-spin combo that is going to incorporate a toss. So if you have high ceilings, maybe just kind of not toss it so high. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Or sorry, did I say high ceilings? I meant low ceilings. I don't remember what I said. Anyway, here's what it looks like. bam. Okay, so this combo is going to use that same little backpack to hinge into wedgie transition that I taught earlier, but this time we're going to be incorporating it from a little anti-spin toss. So I'm going to be doing my anti-spin down and to the right, and then to the left, okay? You can do it any way you feel comfortable with, but this is how I learned them. This is how I'm most comfortable with them, okay? So you're gonna do one full anti-spin, and then when you come to the bottom, right, instead of going into our next flower, we are just going to swoop the hoop up, okay, and let go. So it gets some air. So go ahead and practice that a couple times. Okay, thumb pointed down, and then I'm just going to let it go. You want to try to make sure that you're drawing your hand up through the center of your body. So we don't want any crooked lines when we do that little popping motion. We want nice straight lines. And obviously you can control the height by how much intensity you put into your arm. So again, if we have those low ceilings, just give it a little baby pop. It's totally fine. Okay? How are we doing on that? I'm going to watch you guys. Let's see. Yeah? Yeah? Perfect. Hey, Ray, with your little anti-spin, I'm going to break it down for you real quick. So you're going to start with the hoop. Okay, yeah, we're going to start by popping the hoop out to our right? And make sure when you pop the hoop out, you're getting that full range of motion, okay, so that your thumb is pointed down. Awesome. Now you're going to let go and get up to the top and grab. Yep. And then you're going to get down to the right. Yep. And then come back down to the bottom. And from here, instead of grabbing, you're going to just swoop your hand up, if that makes sense. Yep. So we're here, and then we come down and swoop our hand up. Yep. Yep. I feel like try giving your arm a full range of motion, right? So when I do it, my hand is kind of up above my head when I do my little pop up. When I see you do it, I feel like it's kind of just boop-a-doop, like just a little, I don't know. I can't really do it, but I feel like it'll be helpful if you really just give your hand that full range of motion.
Okay. I think I need to practice it. I haven't done that many anti-spins, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's totally something we could work on. I find that when you do the anti-spins, when you're practicing, really stopping at each point of the flower will help make them look cleaner. So yeah, just try to hit all those 4 points and go super slow, because I know sometimes when we're learning and they're just spinning, it's hard to hit all those points. So just stop and stop and stop and stop. Okay, anyway, let's see. So we've done that little swoop and pop. All right, now we are going to catch the hula hoop in like this with our arms inside of the hula hoop out to the side. If you're having trouble with the anti-spin, what you can do is just kind of do a ghost up and then here, okay? So again, I start with both hands at the top, little modification here. We're gonna ghost the hula hoop up. Okay, so you can still do this trick, it's just not from an anti-spin, okay? Bam, bam. Okay, so from here, we're gonna do a backpack transition. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how it looks like from the back to make sure we're doing it all the right way. I'm going to turn over the right shoulder, okay? It's gonna be a half turn. And as I do that, I'm going to bring the hoop out to my right, okay? Bring the hoop out to my right, and then push it up onto my shoulders. And that's gonna be happening while I do the turn. So we're here, and we're going to be here. Okay, awesome. Now, from here, we are going to do another step and turn. This time, we're gonna incorporate a wedgie. So what we're gonna do is going to drop the hoop down, and we are going to grab, and now we're gonna turn back to the front, right? So we're gonna actually turn into our wedgie this time. So the hoop is gonna hinge in front of us and we're gonna dive our body into the hoop, but we're gonna turn into the hoop and then get into our wedgie. Okay, so you should be facing back to the front by the end of that little turn. So again, we're here, right? Now we're gonna swoop the hoop up to the right into backpack. Then we're gonna hinge and turn back to the front into wedgie. Okay. Perfect. Very nice, guys. Awesome, Ray. Ooh, Arlene's got the LED out. How nice. All right. Yeah, is everybody understanding that little turning concept? It looks like you guys are. Perfect. Okay, yeah, so that's the little trick. We're gonna go ahead and go over it at full speed. Let's see how it feels. All right, again, that if we're not comfortable with the anti-spin, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna anti-spin, push it up, catch, hinge and turn, wedgie and turn, back to the front. Okay, now I'm gonna demonstrate it from the front. Last time, here we go. 3, 2, 1, anti-spin, pop it up, catch, hinge and turn, grab and turn, into wedgie. Right on. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? How does that one feel? Any questions, comments, concerns? Looks like we are doing it really, really well. Okay, we got a thumbs up. Awesome. So the next little turn is going to be incorporating an iso pop. So we are going to start with our hoop out in front of our bodies this time. Last time we did a behind the back iso pop. This time we're going to just do a standard iso pop. So quickly going over an iso pop for you guys. We are going to, bam, shoot our arms out to the side, thumb pointed down. Then we're going to let the hula hoop roll over the back of our hand as we bring the hula hoop back towards our chest. So here and here, okay? So this is a traditional iso pop. Oh, I just realized I didn't even show you what the trick looks like. That's like the most important part. Here's what the trick looks like. Ooh. Okay, I like to do mine with a pirouette, but as discussed, you guys can always just step your way around into a circle, okay? So, back into the teaching. We're gonna go ahead and do our iso pop out, and instead of bringing it back into our chest, we're actually going to go ahead and fold it back into our chest. So I'm not doing any weird grip switches or letting it roll over my hand. I'm just doing a fold out, or sorry, a pop out, and then a fold into the chest. So you should have an overhand grip, fingers curled down toward the ground. And the hoop is pretty much resting like in my chest and my armpit area. Understand? Wonderful. Now from here, this is the super easy part. We're going to be turning over the right shoulder this time, and you're going to turn however way feels comfortable for you. So let's go ahead and do it. Turn, bam. Okay, so now that we're back to the front, all you can do to get out of this trick is flip the hoop up, and then hinge it out to the side, and then get into whatever other type of flow that you want. I like to do a transition to a behind the arm fold into wedgie catch and pull myself through. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and break that down real quick. So we just ended with the hoop out to our, oh, it was down, right? Yeah, we just ended with the hoop still in our chest. From here, we are going to flip our arm out, okay? And now we're gonna do a little backward coin flip motion as we bring the right leg into a little bent position, okay? And now we're going to fold this top part of the hoop down into our knee and hinge the hoop down so we can scoop it into a wedgie. Okay, so that part is a tad bit tricky. So go ahead and just do it super slow at first, okay? Again, we're going to take the top part, flip it down, Aim to get it in that little knee crease if you can. Let go of the hoop. Flip the body inside into wedgie. Yep. I'm gonna see how you guys are doing. Can you guys go ahead and do it for me? I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Yeah, good job, Arlene. Good job, Libby. Ray looks like she's got it too. Right on. Yeah, and then as you guys get more comfortable with this little backward hinge motion, this might not happen today. If it does, that's amazing, but you can actually just go ahead and let the hoop go, okay? So I kind of taught you where you hold on to the hoop the entire time, but as you get comfortable with that arm coin flip, when you're ready, you can try just letting go, whoop, and catching, kind of like this, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do the combo all together one time, just because we got a couple more tricks that I want to incorporate before our time's over, and let's go ahead and do it. All right, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna iso pop, do our turn back to the front. Then we're going to flip the hoop up, over, and then catch into wedgie. Okay, right on. And I did want to mention one last thing before we move on. When you do your turn from the iso pop, try to be mindful of the free hand, okay? So what I like to do when I do my turn is bring my hand above my head and turn like I am a ballerina. What you could also do is slowly bring the hand from the bottom to the top, okay? Having it caressing the side of your body. Or if you feel like maybe you need a little bit more stabilization, you can bring both hands out to the side as you do your turn. It's totally up to you, but feel free to think about that portion, okay? So I have one more here, and this turn is going to be incorporating an anti-fold, okay? So anti-folds are a lot of fun. There's a lot of things you can do with them. This trick kind of uses them as a transition into getting into our turn. So what we're gonna do, start with our hand out to the side, thumb pointed up. From here, we are going to swing the hoop backward, so this gap is behind our body, okay? Now we're going to shoot our arm across our body to the left, so that our arm is folded over our chest. And now we're going to take this front part of the hoop and fold it back, 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 back. So it's unwound. Bring the hoop up at a diagonal, and then take the bottom part of the hoop this time and fold it down to the right and up over the arm, okay? And as we do that fold, we're gonna drop our arm down to chest level. So let's go over that a couple times because it is a lot of moving parts and it might be a little more difficult to grasp, right? So we're going to hinge the hoop back, push it to our chest. The top comes down to the bottom, bring it up to the top. The bottom folds over to the right. Ooh, make sure you can still see me there. As we drop it down to our right. Again, we're going to hinge the hoop out. Move to the left, then we unfold, draw our diagonal up as we fold again, and then drop it down to our right. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to see you guys do the anti-fold, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, I'll even do it on screen just to help you, but I want to watch. 3, 2, 1, we're going to fold over to the right. Chest, unfold as we draw a line up, 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 then up to the right, and we drop it down. Yeah, it looks like you guys are getting it. That's awesome. Okay, so we just did bam, 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 bam. Again, we are going to do our turn over our right shoulder, whatever type of turn you'd like. Do, 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 do. Back to the front. Okay? Now from here, what I like to do is I like to transition into a hip break. Okay. Are you guys comfortable with hip breaks? Okay. Ray's kind of got it. She's got the right motion of it. I want to actually share with you guys a little tip that I kind of created because I did a tutorial on hip breaks not too long ago. So we ended the trick with the arm folded over our right arm, right? With the gap towards the back. From here, we're going to unfold and we're going to do our little escalator, okay? So this is a little hug escalator is what I like to call it. So typically escalators are done up here. I tend to do them by wrapping them around my body like this or behind me, okay? So with this one, we're going to bring it all the way to the left shoulder and we're going to spiral it downward, okay? But instead of letting the hoop fall all the way down to the left side, we're gonna be breaking it with the right knee, okay? So what we're gonna do is the hoop is gonna come down, and as it's coming down, you're gonna have this little spiral gap come in front of your face and then behind you. The contact point for the hip break is when the hoop is like this, okay? So this little plastic part should be on your thigh, and you should have this gap to the right of your body. So I want you to actually just go ahead and get to this position, and we're gonna practice how the break should feel like from this contact point. You're gonna take the right knee, and you're gonna drive it up and then back to the right, okay? So I want you to be hiking up your knee pretty high to your chest as you drive it up into the right. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in gym class, but like hip circles were definitely an exercise that I had to do. It's that same motion, okay? Now I'm gonna show you how it looks like without the hoop, okay? As we incorporate the momentum of the downward spiral, that hip break will come up a little bit higher, okay? So it's coming down, and then when the gap is behind on the right side, we're gonna break it up. Comes down, break it up, okay? This is definitely something that will take time to play with, but yeah, that's the contact point, because I know when I was first learning these, I was struggling with knowing like when to time it out, right? But you want the hoop to come down, and then as soon as it passes your body, like this little gap right here, bam, it's gonna pass your body to the back and spiral down. You're gonna lift that knee up, and I promise you will get there, okay? So it's your choice if you wanna incorporate the, oh, I was stepping in wrong too. Oh, that's totally a different comment from a different trick. Anyway, it's totally your decision if you want to incorporate the hip break or not. You can just go ahead and flow into whatever else you want from the turn, but let's go ahead and practice that all together. Okay, remember we're starting with the backward fold. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to backward fold, chest, unfold, up, fold towards the face, bring it down, turn over the right shoulder, and then optional transition into your hip break. Okay, now I'm going to do it from the front. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to fold back to the chest, unfold, diagonal line, fold up towards the face, drop the hoop, turn. Optional to add the hip break. Okay. Yeah, and then I also want to just add that go ahead and just do these anti-folds slowly at first. There's no rush, okay? This is definitely a muscle memory type of thing. But as you get more comfortable with them, go ahead and speed them up. They look super cool. Okay? So hopefully that was just a nice little skill that I could teach you guys that you'll get more familiar with. Okay, so I actually am all out of tricks. I taught all of them to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know how late it is where you guys are, but it's 10:30 here. And this was just an awesome part, or an awesome way to end my day. So does anybody have any last minute